Ask yourself this very honest question. Do you know your English language exams inside out? If I was to say paper 1 question 3, do you know what paper 1 question 3 is? If I was to say paper 2 question 4, paper 2 question 1, do you know what these questions are? If you do, well done. If you don't, then this video is for you. Guys, in this video, we are not analyzing any question. We are not doing any answers. All we are doing in this video is going through both of the AQA English language exams, and I'm going to talk you through exactly what is coming up in each of these exams, so you know exactly how you're supposed to be revising. Guys, this video honestly is one of the most important videos that I've made so far, because if you don't know what's coming up in your exam, then your revision is just airy-fairy. It's just a waste of time, because you have to know how to apply everything you're learning to the exam, and you should know your exam inside out, because that is what you will be assessed on. Alright guys, let's switch to the board and let's go over English language paper 1 and English language paper 2.
Everything education. Tuition for maths, English and science.
Okay guys, so when we look at English language paper 1, guys, this exam is a 1 hour and 45 minute exam. And in this 1 hour and 45 minutes, guys, there are 2 sections to the exam. You have section B and you have section A. Now section A, guys, is question 1 to question number 4, and section B is question number 5. Now question 1, question 2, question 3 and question 4 are all comprehension questions where you have to read the insert that comes with the exam. Now every exam for English language paper 1 only has one insert, one extract, one source, whatever your school wants to call it. So the insert, guys, is normally about a page and a half long. So you have to read this, guys, and then you have to answer 4 questions about the insert. So question 1 is a 4-mark question. And for question 1, we are spending 5 minutes. And what you have to do, guys, for question 1 is you essentially read the first paragraph, the first couple of lines, and you find 4 statements to support the answer. So this question says, list 4 things about the house and what is happening in this part of the source. That is question number 1. 4 marks, 5 minutes. Then, guys, we move on to question number 2. And question number 2, guys, this is known as the language question, guys. This is known as the language question. Meaning, in this question, we analyze language devices like similes and metaphors and personification, and we analyze words and phrases like nouns or verbs and adjectives. Now, for this question, guys, you are given 8 marks. And for 8 marks, guys, you are looking to spend 10 minutes. And in 10 minutes, guys, you're looking to write 2 paragraphs where you're reading the extract. So they're going to give you a part of the extract. So they might say to you, look at lines 5 to line 15. How does the writer use language to do so and so? And you write 2 paragraphs to answer this question. That's question 1 done, and that's question 2 done. Then we move on to question number 3. Now this question is different to the first 2. Question 1 was about the first paragraph. Question 2 is normally the second paragraph. But this question, guys, is about the entire extract. It's about the whole of the source. So what that means is, for this question, we must look at all of this and all of this to find our answers. Now this is always the structure question, and the question is the same every single year. How has the writer used structure to interest the reader? Now guys, it's the same drill as question number 2. It's an 8-mark question, so we spend 10 minutes on this question and we write 2 paragraphs. But this time, rather than analyzing language devices, we analyze structural devices: foreshadowing, flashback, long paragraph, short paragraph, etc., etc. And that is what we are doing for this particular paragraph. So we spent 10 minutes on question 3, 10 minutes on question 2, 5 minutes on question 1. Then we move on to, guys, question number 4. And question number 4, guys, looks at the end of the source. So question 1 looks at the first couple of lines. Question 2 looks at the second paragraph normally. Question 3 looks at the entire source. And then question 4, guys, normally zooms in and looks at the last third. It looks at the ending. And question 4, guys, is worth 20 marks. And for a 20-mark question, guys, we are spending 20 minutes and we are looking to write 3 paragraphs. So we are spending 20 minutes, guys, and we're writing 3 paragraphs. Now, in question 2, we were analyzing language. In question 3, we were analyzing structure. For this question, we can analyze both. And the question, guys, is always going to give you a statement, and then it will ask you, how much do you agree with the statement? Do you agree with it a lot, or do you agree with it a little bit? And we present 3 paragraphs with our argument inside it. Now, if you were following the timings, guys, by the time you get to the end of question number 4, you would have spent 45 minutes of your exam, guys. We would have spent 45 minutes answering question numbers 1, question number 2, and question number 3. We also spend 45 minutes answering question number 5. That takes us to an hour and a half. That leaves us with 15 minutes. And what we do, guys, for those 15 extra minutes is that is when we read and plan our answers. So you read and you plan, you answer question 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we move on to question number 5. Now, question number 5, guys, is known as creative writing. And in this question, guys, you are given an option of 2. You either describe something to do with the picture, or you write a story. So for this one, guys, it says write a description of an unusual place to stay as suggested by the picture. Key part, guys, is as suggested by the picture. It doesn't really ever say describe the picture. It asks you to use the picture as a source of motivation, as a source of inspiration, and then you can pull from this an idea that you then use for your writing. Or you either write a story. In this question, guys, it was write a story about a life-saving rescue. Now, this question, guys, is worth 40 marks. Question 1, 2, 3, 4 put together are worth 40 marks. So this is worth 50% of the paper, whilst question 1, 2, 3, 4 is the other 50% of the paper. And guys, we are spending 45 minutes on this particular question. And that is AQA English Language Paper 1 exam done. Now, how do you answer the questions? What do you do for each question? Guys, those are topics for a different video, and I've covered them in other videos. In this video, guys, I'm just gonna go over both of the papers. That's paper 1 done. Then we move on to English Language Paper 2. And if you look at this, guys, straight away, it's the same exact timing. Question 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you have 1 hour and 45 minutes. And guys, it's the same drill. Question 1, question 2, question 3, and question 4 is for section A. And question 5 is for section B. And it's the same timings as before, guys. We spend 15 minutes to read and plan. We spend 45 minutes answering question 1, 2, 3, 4. And we spend 45 minutes answering question 5. Now, off the bat though, there is one big difference between the 2 papers. And that one big difference, guys, is this over here. Source A and source B. What that means is, in paper 1, we were only given 1 source. Remember, guys, we were given 1 extract. But in paper 2, we have source A and we have source B, which means we have this and we have this. More reading means more work, means more brain power, means harder paper. But that's the first thing that you want to understand about paper 2. Paper 2 has 2 extracts. Paper 1 has 1 extract. Now, we then move on to question number 1. And question number 1, guys, is the same drill. If you look at the first opening paragraph, source A, lines 1 to 9. And the only difference, guys, is the same marks, same time. So 4 marks, 5 minutes. But the only difference between this question and the last question is as follows. In paper 1, you had to physically write down the 4 statements that were answering the question. In this one, rather than writing down the 4 statements, they're going to give you 8 statements and you must choose 4 that are either true or false. For this paper, is true. So all you would do is you would color in the 4 that you think are true. And that's this question done. Then we move on to question number 2. And this, now the exam changes completely for paper 1. This question, guys, you must refer to the whole of source A and the whole of source B. And rather than analyzing language as we were in paper 1, we are now writing a summary, a pure basic comprehension question. You're not analyzing no language, you're not analyzing no structure, no verbs, no nouns. All you are doing in this question is summarizing something about source A, and in paragraph number 2, something about source B. In this question, we are summarizing about the different camping sites that they stay in. Guys, this question is worth 8 marks. For 8 marks, we are doing 2 paragraphs and we are spending 10 minutes on this particular question. That is question number 2 done. Then, guys, you move on to question number 3. And question number 3, guys, can bounce between source A and source B, and it gives you a paragraph to refer to. It gives you a paragraph to refer to, normally like the second half of the extract, and it gives you like a paragraph, lines 29 to 38. And this question, guys, how does writer use language to describe the rain and the storm? This question is the exact same question as paper 1, question number 2. Both of the questions, paper 1, question 2, and paper 2, question 3, ask for the exact same thing. You must analyze language, similes, metaphors, verbs, nouns, to answer the question. So how does the writer use that stuff to describe the rain and the storm? But there's one glaring difference. This one is worth 12 marks, whereas the first one is worth 8 marks. For a 12 marker, we are spending 13 minutes. Guys, for a 12 marker, we are spending 13 minutes on this question. Now, what does that mean for us in writing? It means one of 2 things. In paper 1, question 2, we are doing 2 paragraphs. In paper 2, question 3, either do 3 paragraphs or do 2 very detailed paragraphs, depending on what you can fit in the time. All right, guys. Then we move on to paper 2, question number 4. Now, because paper 2 has source A and source B, AQA throws in a question where they want us to compare the 2 sources. So for this one, it's asking us to compare their different thoughts and feelings about the camping experiences. You're always going to compare feelings. You're always going to compare thoughts. You're always going to compare perspectives about something between the sources. Now, guys, remember, a comparison can either be a similarity or it can be a difference. So always keep an eye out as to what exactly AQA is talking about. In this one, we're comparing differences. Now, guys, for this question, we can talk about language and structure. It's entirely up to you, depending upon what you can find. And it is worth 16 marks. Now, for a 16 marker, guys, we are spending 17 minutes and we are writing 3 paragraphs in 17 minutes. Now, if you do the maths, guys, question 1, 2, 3, 4, we spent 45 minutes of our exam. Then we move on to question number 5. And question number 5, guys, whereas in paper 1, it was writing a story or describing a picture. In paper 2, it's a different task, but it's the exact same mark scheme. So, paper 2, guys, is question 5 is 40 marks, and we are spending 45 minutes on this question. This time, we haven't got a multiple choice. It's one straight shooting question. And the question, guys, always asks you to present your viewpoint. You're either persuading, or you're arguing for or against, but it's essentially all the same thing. You're presenting your argument with the purpose of making the examiner agree with you by the end of your argument. For this question, guys, you can ask to be write an article. It could be a speech, it could be a letter, it could be a leaflet, or it could be an essay. Those are the different forms that can come up, and they'll always give you a statement, and your argument has to be something to do with the statement. So this one says, holidays don't need to be far away and expensive. They just need to give people a break from everyday life and the chance to relax. Write a magazine article which you argue your point of view on this statement. And that is what question 5 is. Now, guys, what I've just gone through are both English language exams, paper 1 and paper 2. Remember, guys, this video isn't there to teach you how to answer the questions, but the purpose of this video is to please know what's coming up in your exam. Don't just coast till May not knowing exactly what comes up. You should know, guys. If someone says to you, paper 2 question 4, paper 1 question 3, you should know what they're talking about. Alright guys, as always, it's been Mr. Everything English. Peace.